Hello once again, people of Earth, and welcome aboard the Great Train Retro Bear. I am your host, Retro Bear. Oh God, I haven't started yet. It's like last time's video. Anyway, hello everybody, and nice to see you once again. As usual, if you are here for the first time, thank you very much indeed for tuning in. I do hope you like what you see, and do help yourself to the complimentary biscuits. But very much one each because they are complimentary. If you are a returning subscriber, then yeah, it's more of the same old rubbish, but you're obviously back for more, so you obviously enjoy it. Yes, so what a busy week it's been. It's been a long week as well. It feels like this last week has been made up of 12 days. Why 12? I have no idea. It was the first number that came into my head, but it has been that sort of week. I'm not sure why. It has just felt incredibly long. And we are doing another pickups video. This is for pickups from Saturday the 17th of August, which was a pretty bloody good day, to be honest with you. So quite a few pickups to get to. Also got some stuff that's been sent to me in the post, and that's always nice to receive, isn't it? So we'll be going through that as well, so do make yourself a 3-course meal. Take the phone off the hook, which I haven't done, so that may ring at some point, even though it is quite late, so I don't think we're going to be too bothered by too many phone calls this time of night. As you can see, the brush is here. Aerosmith are still here. I don't know who let them in again. I'm getting very fed up with their returning thing. Interesting to note that someone actually paid $64.99 for this Guitar Hero set. It wasn't me, but yeah, $64.99 from HMV. Guitar Hero, Aerosmith on the Wii. So the brush is here, Aerosmith is still here. The Chef's Choice this week for regular viewers. I put a game in the background on the television just so you can see what's going on. This week's game of choice is on the Wii because yes, it's still sat on the floor, plugged in from weeks ago. You may have gathered from the title just there, but anyway, I'll show you that. It's Legend of Spyro. That's what it is. It's called The Eternal Night. Yes, I know this game really well, as you can tell. This does have just the standard Nintendo warning inside. Let's go there, and there's the back of the box. It's the only Spyro game I own which isn't a Skylanders game. I haven't got any on the PlayStation 2, I don't think. I'm just having a quick scan. Amuse yourself for a moment. Nope, that's the only one I've got. So bloody expensive. I don't think I've played anything beyond Spyro's first outing on the PlayStation 1. I haven't even played this one yet. Looks alright, doesn't it? I should also mention the rather rugged appearance, which I do apologise for, but as we are getting towards Bank Holiday weekend, there's more tourists in town, so I can make a bit more money by sitting on street corners begging for spare change. You know, it's quite a good sideline if you can get into doing those sort of things. Although the fact that I'm wearing a t-shirt which says I like pies and my ever-increasing girth indicates I've had quite a few good meals lately, so I wouldn't be a genuine sort of I need money please type thing. Anyway, I digress. Where were we? Oh, pickups, yes, there we go. Yes, so some exciting stuff this week, plenty of variety. I wasn't quite sure how the weekend was going to go. It started fairly normally. I did sort of wake up with the intention of going a bit further. I did mention this the week before, to somewhere I haven't been to for quite some time, probably Wolverhampton, see what it's like. Didn't get round to doing that. Now, why was that this week? I can't quite remember. I'm sure there's a reason why I didn't. Oh yes, I think there was a reason. We had to go and do some family related stuff. So I said to Mrs B, I said I shan't bother going a bit further, I'll save it for a couple of weeks. So I thought I'll just go and do a couple of places and then pop in and see, do the family stuff. Then there was a family emergency halfway through the morning, which I had to drop everything for, and got a bit of a reprieve at the end of it. I was able to carry on picking up the game hunt, which was actually very worthwhile. You'll see why so in a minute. Luckily the family emergency turned out to it was serious, there's no doubt about it, but not as quite as serious as perhaps it could have been at one point. So but we still got things to go. Anyway, I digress. You don't need to know all that, it's not drastically important, but just to sort of fill you with a bit of background information as to where we got on. So what really could have been a curtailed game hunt actually turned to be a pretty good one, and we'll start with some pickups. I'll do stuff that's been I've picked up first of all. I'm going to do it in sort of system order, and then I'll sort of get to the other stuff afterwards, if there is other stuff. So there's quite a bit to get through. Some of it's quite good actually as well. That'll surprise you, won't it? Yes, it's not usually very good, is it? It's usually a load of rubbish. Right, so what have we got then? So original Xbox stuff. We love the original Xbox, not the OG Xbox. It's the original Xbox. It always will be the original Xbox. It's never anything else. Don't let anybody tell you that, because it's complete rubbish. It is the original Xbox. Because it was the original Xbox, obviously. And PlayStation 1 is called the PS1 because it's the first one. They didn't call Xbox, the first Xbox 1, they called it Xbox. Because no one quite knew whether there'd be another one, so there was no Xbox 2. It was the Xbox 360, and then Xbox One. Not quite sure why they went with that anyway, but it's not OG Xbox, it's the original Xbox. Right, run over a couple of, I don't think there's anything particularly exciting here, but just filling in gaps in my collection. So first up, actually I'll show you that one first, because it's before then. It's TOCA Race Driver. It's a fabulous series again. I first played TOCA back on PlayStation 1. This is slightly different in sort of theory. Interesting, there's a flyer in this one which says to receive lethal car damage and advanced handling unlocks, register this game. My eyesight isn't quite what it used to be. I can't see if there was an expiry in that, but it's worth being interesting to see if you could still get that now. And also there's one of these, no manual, which is we're off to a good start this week. No manual, but we have a Codemasters bump booklet which has got Prisoner of War, which is a game I own. We've got Colin McRae Rally and LMA Manager 2003. There's all those dreadful club football games. Gives you an idea of how many games in those series are exactly the same. Looks like there's Chelsea, Villa, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, no sorry, Arsenal, Rangers, Man United, Leeds, and then you've got Bayern Munich, AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund, Ajax, Inter Milan, Juventus, and one there I can't even recognise at the bottom. No, I've got no idea who that is. But I think there were other ones that came out. Then you got Snooker 2003 and Operation Flashpoint. Again, games I already own. And Mike Tyson's Boxing as well, which is another game I've got. So I've got most of those in there. What did I pay for this? I think this was £1 in CX. And I think is this the one where it's got sort of like a storyline in it? I'm pretty sure one of them's got the storyline in. Apologies for the glare, there's the camera pointing in that direction there. But yeah, it's 13 global championships. There's the V8 Supercars from Australia, Germany's DTM, British Touring Cars, 42 licensed cars. Yeah, and it's got some people's names who've done the voice. Soundtrack by Ash, Iggy and the Stooges, Thin Lizzy, Morchiba, Al Green and Lynyrd Skynyrd. Yeah. So there we go, that was £1. I'm going to find somewhere to put these in, because I can't put them back on the shelf because I've got quite a lot of stuff to get through, so I'll balance them on there. And I've already got TOCA 2, so I didn't suddenly get TOCA 3, which was also £1 from CEX. Very pleased to see that the manual was in this one, and it is the one I'm going to there we go, lovely. And there's also loads of bump. We've got Codemasters game manual catalogue again. Would you like to see what's inside that? Yes, okay, we'll show you. League Manager 2006, TOCA 3, which you've already bought, Sensible Soccer, and also Brian Lara's cricket. Was that 2005? Yeah, 2005, Brian Lara. I didn't know Codemasters did the Sensible Soccer game. I don't own that one. Heroes of the Pacific and Worms for Mayhem games I've already got as well. And then Colin McRae 2005. Also in here was how will the new Honda Civic make you feel? I have no idea. It's probably win a 2006 Honda Civic. There we go. Why? Yeah. You could probably buy a 2006 Honda Civic now for about a couple £100, I suppose. What was interesting in here was the fact that it says you haven't won the star prize, but you have won a free ticket. Now this ticket here is for the BTCC Silverstone British Touring Car Championships on the 15th of October 2006. So if I have a time machine, I can go back and watch that. Yeah, all you had to do was fill this in, return it, and they sent you a free ticket. No one did. I have no idea why. So that's the front of it. And there's lots of things in here. There's loads of sort of Pro Career Race Mode, World Race Mode, 70 cars in this one as opposed to 42 in the last one. It was online. You could play online against 12 players. All sorts of different things. So there we go. That's the back of the box. And that was £1 also in CEX. Another £1 from CEX. Not to say it was, yeah, it just is. Oh, yes, it was. That's a Virtual Pool Tournament Edition. Now I got this one. I've picked this up so many times in the same CEX and put it back down again. So I'm thinking I must be able to find a better game to spend my bears on. And no. So I thought, stuff it. I bought this because I wasn't quite sure whether or not this was going to be a good week. So there we go. It looks like pool. You've got play 18 different types of pool. 18. Really? 8 ball, 9 ball, snooker. That's not pool for a start, is it? It's a different game. And 1 and 3 cushion billiards. Have you ever played billiards? Have you watched anybody play billiards? Good grief, it's like watching paint drying, a paint drying factory. It's horrible. Then I picked this one up because I thought, you know, you look at late sports games labels and you think, are these worth anything at all? Are they worth picking up? Some of them are. When I say late sports games titles, I mean later releases on systems before they stopped making them for that and moved on. And I thought this might be one, and turns out it wasn't. But I knew that at the time. I knew when I bought it. I didn't get home and find out, oh, I've drastically made a mistake on this one. I've actually paid what it is worth in CEX. But I got this from a charity shop, 99p, and this is NBA 2K6, which I believe that's got Shaquille O'Neal on the front of it. If you know your American sports, then you will know that it's Shaquille O'Neal. If you don't, that's just more information that you need. So again, nicely complete with the manual. Any bumps with that one? Oh, there's a registration card. But no, nothing else in there. I must be honest with you, basketball games is not something. I tend to enjoy. I think the very first one I actually properly played would have been on Video Olympics on the Atari 2600. It was basically just a one-on-one game, and I think the only one I played after that was probably one of the NBA Live games that came out on PlayStation 1, possibly 98 or 99, I can't remember. And I actually paid pretty full price for it as well. And it was just basketball, and I don't mind watching basketball, but computer games based, nah, not really my thing. And then, oh yeah, we're like a bit of a cock up, don't we? Not my cock up mine, this one, but no, the cock up of the people good people who work at CEX. And this is, I bought this game because I went through my games last week to try and stop me buying any duplicates. And I got this sort of list out, and I made sure I highlight anything that's got a classics or a platinum or something like that. Because if you're out and about and you can see these things cheap, you can always replace them. And I thought, well, I want to try and eliminate as many of the sort of black, silver, white labels from my collection and just try and keep everything as pure as I possibly can. In some cases, it's probably not going to happen. But there are other ones. I'm looking at it now. There's probably about 15 or so in my PlayStation 2 collection, but I have something in the region of nearly 600 of those. So 15 isn't a great deal. But then my Xbox collection, if I've got 230 odd, and I've got 5 or 6 in there, then I want to try and eliminate that as best I can. Excuse me. So this was one. I've already got the classics version of this, and this is Project Gotham Racing 2. And it's one of the cheapest games you buy on the Xbox. It's 50p. You haven't got this and you got it on Xbox, go and get it. But the problem was, the good people at CEX have given me a classics disc. Isn't that annoying? So by doing that, that now means I have a proper box cover, not the classics cover, but I now have a classics disc to go with the box. So I can swap the cover out so it looks like it's a genuine one, but in actuality it's still got the other one in between. I must pick games that don't flare up like that. That's better. There we go. Back to life. Oh dear me. Yeah, so a bit disappointed with that one. I mean, it did come with a manual and everything. The actual disc on this one was, let's see, it was worse than the one I'd already got. That's physically possible. This particular branch of CX, they don't check their discs as perhaps as closely as they should do. Some of them are really horribly filthy on the back. Not scratched. I mean, some of them are scratched. I won't lie and say it's been 100%. They're all fine apart from a few finger marks or dust. They are, in some of them, pretty manky states. Certainly the worst one I go into, but they never lose the stuff. They've always got the stuff. Other CXs I go to, they lose the bits and pieces. It's also got a 2-month trial card inside, which is lovely because that sort of tears off at the bottom there, and the code hasn't been scratched out, so that's lovely because that's all super complete. It's just the classics version. There's the back of the box anyway. Like I said, if you haven't got a Project Gotham Racing and you have an original Xbox, what are you doing? What are you doing? You should have one. Ugh. Right, shall we do a GameCube game? A GameCube game, do I hear? Yes, a GameCube game. Now, if I say to you, if I was to say to you, if you could find a GameCube game for 75p, would you buy it? If your answer to that question is yes, good choice. If your answer to that question is it depends what it was, then you might want to skip along slightly because you're not going to enjoy this. Oh, that's fallen on the floor badly. Oh dear. I'm swinging around my chair too much. Right. Yes. So the game in question is Madden 2003. But it's complete. It's got the manual and it's got the disc. That's useful because if you didn't have a disc, obviously there'd be a problem. And it's fine. I know it's Madden. I know it is Madden, and this is going to be so far down the list of other people's requirements in terms of picking up games. But 75p from CEX. I don't know where you know. I don't mind American football games. I like American football. Okay, I've talked about American football before. And we're getting that. We are now literally where are we now? 1 week, yeah, 1 week away from the start of the college season, and 2 weeks away from the start of the NFL season. 2 weeks tonight. It's great. You know, one of my favourite times of the year, from sort of like early September through until early February. It's like every Sunday and then Saturdays occasionally and wherever. It's American football. It's great, brilliant. So I know it's Madden. I know it's not particularly rare, collectible or anything like that, but 75p for a GameCube game. I don't know. Worse the worse, you can use the box for something. Ugh. Right. Shall we do some PlayStation 2 next? Am I going to say that every single time I pick a pile up? Possibly yes. Right. I'm going to do this one. Let's start with this one then. So, 50p CEX. Game I already own already on the original Xbox is Secret Weapons Over Normandy, which is a World War II simulator made by LucasArts, the same people who put this game together. Also put together the TIE Fighter and X-Wing series. I'm just reading it on the back of the box actually, which were very well lauded on the PC back in the day, from the critically acclaimed creator. And it's not about. I have played a bit of this on the original Xbox quite some time ago. It's good fun. I like it because it's based on World War II. You know, that sort of whole era, and fascinated by history. So those sort of things I absolutely adore having in my games to play. I've got quite a few. Just sort of looking at them now. World War tank games and World War II tank games, and there's other flight simulators over there. And I know there's more up there which you can't see, evidently. And I think there's also Blazing Angels on the Wii, which is up there somewhere. Right, yeah, I'll do this one. This was a CX pickup. This was 75p, and we all love a bit of this, don't we? Yeah. SingStar ABBA. I actually saw a copy of SingStar Queen, and I forgot to pick it up. Not that I'm particularly bothered. I'm a particularly big Queen fan, or indeed a big ABBA fan. The interesting thing is 20 original music tracks and music videos, and they are all ABBA ones as well. You're probably shouting out titles at home. If you are, then yes, they're on here. Have I got a favourite ABBA track? I Hear You Cry. I think I heard that. Yeah, I suppose probably my favourite ABBA track is Voulez-Vous. There you go, trivia question. Should that come up in the NDV quiz? What is Retro Bear's favourite ABBA song? It is... There you go. Now, I got these next three in a charity shop. There's a charity shop chain up here in the Midlands called Acorns, which, if you probably won't know, if you are local or in the area, you'll know about it. It's a charity which has been struggling for funding and possibly may even have to close down at some point. It's also a charity shop that I've never really found many games in at all. The only things I can remember of note finding in there were a copy of Mario All-Stars and Donkey Kong Country on the SNES loose carts, which they had priced up at £10 each. And then 2 weeks later, when they were still there, they knocked them down to a £5, and that's when I sort of snapped them up. There was also, I think last year, maybe even 18 months ago, I picked up a Game Boy Color magnifier, I think it was, with the case. It was practically brand new in there. And the odd game here and there, but generally speaking, they have none. And I go in pretty much an Acorns every week, and they very rarely, if at all, have any games, even PC games. So I'm not sure whether they just trade them in or whether somebody else gets first dibs on them before they make the shelf. I don't know. These three seem to have slipped through the system, and they're all in the one on Saturday, so I picked these up. Again, nothing particularly fantastic here. They're all cartoon based, so if you like cartoons like I do, then these are going to be quite interesting. I think Sean Retro Games revived. Do you know, I forgot the name of your channel, Sean. God, it's been that sort of week, mate. I'm really sorry. Retro Games Revived. I think you picked this one up. Yeah, it's Ice Age 2. Oh, did you get sent it? You got sent it anyway. Ice Age 2, The Meltdown. I'm having a bad week, mate. I'm really sorry. Ice Age 2, The Meltdown. I very much enjoyed the first 2 Ice Age films, and I think, like most people, gradually lost interest as time went on. But it's nice and complete, and it's got all the characters there. There's Manny the Mammoth and Sid the Sloth and that saber-toothed tiger's name I can't remember. I've also got one of the Ice Age games on the Wii, which I think is one based on Continental Drift, which is the 4th film. Shrek the Third on PlayStation 2. I think, like most people, I enjoyed the first Shrek film. I tolerated the second one. I was getting a bit bored by the third one, and I honestly can't remember if I've seen the 4th one or not. You know when they sort of start flogging a dead horse into the ground, just trying to keep making money off it. And they weren't just the Shrek games based on the films. There was a Puss in Boots game. There was Shrek Super Slam, which I think was a fighting type game. There was a kart racing one. And there's a carnival one. I've got one on the PlayStation 1 as well, I think. Yes, I have. A treasure game or something like that. Games falling all over the place. Oh dear. It's not a good week this week, I tell you, it's not a good week. Yeah, so yeah, it was 99p. I ain't so fussed about that one. This one, based on that well-known, successful Disney cartoon character Stitch. Stitch Experiment 626. I've seen Lilo and Stitch. Very strange film for Disney. I think it was going through that period where they weren't quite sure what they were doing. They sort of lost their way in the 70s and 80s. They sort of come back towards the end of the 80s and the early 90s with Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, Lion King. And then I think sort of early to mid 2000s, they just sort of lost their way a little bit. But they were very much back on track now, I think. Very much back on track. It goes like that in animation. They were obviously pioneers of the 40s, and then they changed animation style in the 50s, and they sort of picked back up again in the 60s. Then they really sort of fell down to things like Robin Hood and Aristocats. Good films, but not quality Disney. And I don't think this one was either. It was, yeah, something like Moana I can watch quite comfortably. Something like this or Mulan. That one I think. So all those three there were £1 each. I think the only one from memory is probably the Stitch Experiment, which is worth a bit more than that, but nothing valuable there. Now this one was a bit of a fine in cash converters, and I paid 89p If you go and cash convert, my cash converter sometimes had the most ridiculous prices. I saw a game there, 13 pence a couple of weeks ago. 13's a FIFA game, 13 pence. Why 13? It wasn't even FIFA 13, it didn't make any sense. But this is quite, again, a well-known title. Not particularly valuable. I think it goes for about $3.50 in CEX, something like that. So I picked it up for 89p. And this is the Canis Canim Edit Bully, as it's more commonly known, Rockstar game. Or basically Grand Theft Auto set in a American public school. Private school. Now the reason this was 89p was the disc was fairly covered in scratches. Now when I say scratches, I mean not deep ones. It was quite heavily surface scratchy. Look as if somebody basically sort of gone like that with it. Now I've given it a clean with my cleaner, and it's actually not come up too bad. It's still not brilliant, but it does work. And I use, I'll show you this very, very quickly. Use one of these to clean the discs with. So what you do is you pop the disc in there. After you've got some fluid here, what you do, give the back of it a squirt. That really is something like distilled water. I'm pretty sure it is distilled water mix anyway. You spray that on the back of your disc. You put the disc in with the back upwards and the graphics on the bottom. You've got in there a wheel. It's got like a sort of a coarse strip on it. I'm not saying sandpaper because it's not quite sandpaper. And then all you do, and this is manual labour at its very best, this is, you turn that around, the wheel spins, the disc rotates in there, you put it through a couple of times, you re-water it, and then you take it out, and then what you've got a cloth there, and also like a buffing square, so you clean it through, and then buff the edges out, and then you run the disc. Now, it's fairly crude, but it works brilliantly. I bought this after, Mrs. Bear bought me this, after I bought a copy of Super Mario Galaxy on the Wii off Amazon, and I was assured it would work. It was quite a cheap copy, which is why I bought it complete, manual, everything. But when the game started, it started going through the instruction and it froze, and I ran it 3 times, it froze in exactly the same place each time. So she did a bit of research, came up with this, bought one of these from Amazon. First thing I did was put it through the cleaner twice, put it back in the Wii, and it worked perfectly, and I got my money back as well. So not only did I get Mario Galaxy for nothing, I also managed to repair the disc for it. And I've got to be honest with you, I think there's only 3 games this has failed to sort of work out, and of those 3 games, on this one of them I've actually discovered there's actually a chunk missing out the disc on further inspection. So it pretty much cleans anything up. It's not going to make everything brand new, but it takes a lot of the rubbish out, and even just using that stuff and giving the disc a good clean afterwards just shines them up nicely. I do enjoy, sounds really sad, but actually very therapeutic the day after a game hunt is to go through all my discs and just clean them, put them through here if I need to do so, and then if not, just give them a clean over, make sure they're nice and clean, get rid of the fingerprints and everything like that, and you go. It won't work though on anything which is current gen, so no Xbox One, no PlayStation 4, no PlayStation 3, no Wii U. It does work though on 360 because the density is not quite the same on those discs as the PlayStation 3 and the Wii. If you look at Wii U, if you look at the back, so it will work on the Wii, it work on the original Wii, it won't work on the Wii U. If you look on the back of a Wii U disc and the PlayStation 3 disc, you can see how they're made up. You can see the difference in quality turn over an Xbox 360 disc and a Wii disc, and you can see there's complete difference there. PlayStation, when it works on PlayStation 2, works on Xbox original, it works on Xbox 360 and the Wii. It won't work on the Saturn. No, don't put your Saturn games in it, and it obviously won't work on the GameCube and current gen stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think it was about maybe 18-20 quid. The problem is now they're getting very hard to find. Even worse is the spares are getting more and more difficult to pick up. So hopefully I can keep using this for some time. I dread the day coming that it disappears. And all this does, it just resurfaces the disc. It doesn't go into the disc. It knows when to stop. It'll only be able to clean up what it can do. Once it hits a certain point on that, we can't touch it. So people said it's damaged disc before. I've never had an issue with it damaging any disc. in my case, the discs are better off for being cleaned through it. It's called Skip Doctor. If you do find, you can get them on Amazon, but at the moment the spares and stuff are coming from Switzerland and America, and you may not be able to get them. But I can't fault it. I cannot fault it. Just so you're aware, I am not officially endorsed by Skip Doctor, nor do I get any benefits from them for promoting their products if they are still in business. Right, clean that up. So yeah, so that 89 pence copy of Bully now looks 100 times better than it did before. They did have some other games in there as well, but honestly some of those discs were pretty scratched up, and I felt that one was worth doing. Some of the other ones I left there, nothing particularly, so I didn't leave anything rare or collectible behind. They just weren't worth the hassle for you. Right, move these across. We do some PlayStation 3. Now we're getting to the point now where we're getting some interesting bargains coming through. Let's do the rubbish first. PlayStation 3 then went into pawnbrokers, where he's done these bundles before. He saw my video a few weeks ago with the Scooby-Doo First Frights game bundled together with a couple of for £1. He's more or less done all that now. That's only what's left is what people don't want. I'm hoping he might sort of cut some of the prices on them because they might be worth it, but no, most of the stuff's gone there. I think he's now sort of focusing on either anything that's sort of retro and worth anything, or he's just going to go current gen, which is a real shame because he's always been a good source of games for me. So I will be disappointed if that turns out to be the case. He does still have the odd bargain in there. Again, most of you will go, it's a sports game. It's a sports game. It's got Shaquille O'Neal on the front again. It is NBA 2K7 on the PlayStation 3. You might just be able to see that there, the remnants of that sticker. It says 20p. It's a PlayStation 3 game for 20 pence, people. 20 pence. I mean, why would you not pick this up and then chuck it away a week later after you played it? I mean, it can't be you can't be a game snob. Oh, it's a sports game. Sorry, it's 20p, 20 pence. I mean, it sits on your shelf. It looks all right, doesn't it? I don't know. Anyway, now that was some pawnbrokers rant over. I went into cash converters, and this particular branch of cash converters does things really strangely. Sometimes they have normally priced stuff, and then sometimes they have absolute bargains that you don't know are bargains either until you get home or you've got your own knowledge of, as in the case with these two PlayStation 3 games. First one up is Doctor Who, The Eternity Clock, which was, first of all, it's without the manual, but this was also meant to be the first in a series of Doctor Who games based around Matt Smith and his time as the Doctor, which, it's not Matt Smith's fault. Let me just make that perfectly clear. I think he was a very good Doctor. If you're a Doctor Who fan, again, you'll enjoy this. If you're not a Doctor Who fan, just skip forward a bit until I show you the next game. I thought he was a very good Doctor, but I just felt that he was let down by some pretty rubbish storylines, some pretty rubbish writing, and I just, in fact, if anything, it more or less, and I used to be a massive Doctor Who fan, it more or less killed my enthusiasm for it, I'm afraid. Now this was meant to be serious games. It wasn't very good, and because it wasn't very good, it had to be sort of patched a bit afterwards, and it meant to be a bit better, but because it was so badly received, they didn't make any more games in the series. So as a result of that, this was the only game in that series. There was a game on the Wii called Return to Earth, which was stupid game sticker, equally as bad, and I've got that on the Wii. And there's also a Doctor Who Top Trumps game, which is actually quite fun if you know what you're doing. But again, it's Top Trumps on a PlayStation 2 or a Wii. I mean, you buy a pack of Top Trump cards for a few quid, don't you? You don't spend 20 quid on the purpose of playing on the computer. See Deal or No Deal video. Now, I wasn't aware that when I got home, having spent 99p on this, that CEX actually sell this for 8, and they'll give you a fairly good trading value as well. So if you do see a copy of this around, it's worth picking up. Now, I had no idea. I thought it was just generic rubbish. I hadn't seen it before. I'd heard of it but never seen it. So yeah, I got that for £1, and it's worth about 8 times that. Well, they're selling for 8 times that amount. Like I said in my last video, they're buying in price and they're selling price. There's a big gap in between. How much is that worth to you? I don't know. And the other game I picked up in there was again another nice find, and this is Burnout Paradise: The Ultimate Box. Now, for those of you who've got good memories, you'll remember that years and years ago, Sony had a problem with the PlayStation Network, I had to worldwide, and people couldn't get on there, and all this, and they had to eventually give away stuff, downloads to people who've been affected by it. And I think we picked up Wipeout HD and possibly just Burnout Paradise. Well, this is the ultimate box. Now, this has got all the downloadable content and extra add-ons that were released for it included in this game. In fact, this game's only, I think, according to its Wikipedia page, which basically is about as reliable as me telling you about it, they only turned the servers off for this game at the start of August, I think it was. You couldn't get the downloadable content at the start of August. Interesting. It's got the annoying label on the inside from Game, I'm guessing, probably. The disc is upside down. It's a bit of a tatty old copy. There's no shots on the back, just some pictures. It's not it's not the nicest looking copy, but I think that sells again in CEX for £5, but that cost me 99p. So again, nice little find there from that Cash Converters. Sometimes you've got to search around for these things and take you by surprise. You go, oh, that's good. Shall we do some Wii U next? Why not? Now this is interesting because a few weeks ago I picked up a Wii. A few weeks ago, probably even longer than that. Everything's a few weeks ago when you get to my age. A few weeks ago. That was 20 years ago, was it? No. A few weeks ago I picked up a Wii U game in a charity shop. Nothing very exciting. It was Disney Infinity 2.0. But that was the first time I'd seen a Wii game in a charity shop. So I apologise to Mrs. Bear first of all, because I told her when I came home on Saturday I found some Wii U games in a charity shop. I'd never done that before, and I remembered, oh yes, I had bought a Wii U game from the very same charity shop previously. But I've never seen Wii U games in charity shops. They actually had 3 in this particular one. One of them I've already got, which was Lego City Undercover, which I bought when I got my Wii U back earlier in the year. But these 2 games, like I said, I've never seen a Wii U game in a charity shop, and I just thought, I've got to have these. I don't usually sort of do that. I would have sort of, I'm not buying those, but I thought, it's too good an opportunity to pass up this one. If I pass this up, someone else is going to grab them, and they won't be there next week. That's something I can just sort of leave on the shelf. If you remember the Lord of the Rings Third Age gold tin I got on my last video, and if you haven't seen that, go back and check it out, because it seems like no one knows where this has come from. It's amazing. I actually missed that the previous week. I'd left it on the shelf the previous week, so I was very lucky to get that. But these 2, I thought, I'm not leaving those behind. I'm going to pick them up. So the first one I got is Star Wars The Force Awakens, and it's got everything inside. All that, what now constitutes a manual, which I think just folds out, doesn't it? I think these fold out. I've checked the other one. Yeah, they just fold out into things. Yeah. Ah dear. It was different back in our day. We got something like that thick to read through in 5 different languages. There's the back of it. You can see that there. I've not said this before, but I love the colour of these boxes. I love that colour. Really nice. And the other one I picked up was Lego Jurassic World, which again, nice and complete. Got a foldy out manual, which I'm not going to show you. And there we go. I don't usually again get Lego games in charity shops either. Now, not bargains these by any stretch of the imagination. They weren't a bear each. These were £4.50 each. Now I know in terms of the Lego one, that's probably about market value. In fact, I think again fairly recently that's dropped to £3.50 in CX. It's back up to a £5 now, because I did check when I was in there later on. This one though I think is about £8. I think previously it's been 10 to 12. So if I'd bought them from CX at the moment, they probably cost me 13 quid. I paid 9 for the pair. I don't usually pay that much, as you know. Most of you probably going to have to lie down after this one, or take a stiff drink after seeing what's happened there with those 2. But I just felt they was just too good an opportunity to pass them up. People will probably find these at car boots for £1. If you do, good on you, well done. But it's just one of those things I'm thinking, I've got to get those. I've got to pick them up. So yes, they've come home with me. But I'm very happy with that. And I think that's about, I'm nearly at 10% on the Wii U, because I think 171 PAL releases, and I'm thinking I'm up to 15 already. Doesn't take much. It's a lot of people are interested in the Wii U. Very underrated machine in my opinion. I've said that before, and I will continue to say that. A very, very small library of games, and some of them are getting quite expensive now. More rarer ones. The simpler stuff I've got, the more easy ones to pick up. You can get those 10 a penny, but no, not 10 a penny. It ain't that cheap yet. I've got a feeling it's been one of these that's going to hold its value for quite some time. And then I think, apart from the free gifts, the free gifts, did I say free gifts? That's very remiss of me. Apart from the stuff that's been sent to me in the post. This is my last pick-up game, so this is Xbox 360 stuff, and again, a couple of interesting ones in here as well. Let's put that one back on the shelf because that's not included in that. So let's start with another bargain from Cash Converters, and this is Star Wars Connect, or Connect Star Wars. Interesting stuff in here. This is like not a whodunit. Same sort of thing. It's like, where on earth is this come? First of all, there's a full game download card for Dance Central 2 in it, which I think is the one I haven't got. Dance Central, I think I've got 1 and 3. I can't. I might have to stand up. I don't want to stand up. So that was in there. Then in here as well was, oops, this thing here. And the reason I'm doing that is because someone's written, I'm guessing they've written game tag on there, so their game tag relating to this, and it's got but it's interesting because it's got a list of Kinect games inside. So we've got the Gunstringer. I'm just trying to remember what I've got. The Gunstringer I've got, Power Up Heroes I haven't, Disneyland Adventures I haven't, Kinectimals I have, Your Shape I haven't, Star Wars I've got, Kinect Sports, yes, Kinect Sports Season 2, no. Dance Central 2, Dance Central, Sesame Street Once Upon a Monster, which I was looking for on Saturday. I was looking for that game. Can you believe I was looking for that? And that's it. So it's just got an advertisement for a few games. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 11 Kinect games. I've got most of those. I'm dying to, as I think Eddie at Roller Core is, to try and get the complete Kinect library if I can. I'm not sure how many games there are, though. I'll have to do a bit more research on it. This actually comes with not only the Star Wars disc, but also comes with this, Games Demos. I have no idea what's on it, but it says Kinect on it, so I'm guessing possibly it's going to be related to some of those games I've just read out. I don't know. Kinect Star Wars, you may or may not know, is generally regarded as not very good. I played it at the National Video Game Museum when it was in Nottingham 2 years ago, and I wasn't impressed with it. I didn't play Dancing Against Jabba the Hutt, no. You're probably surprised at that, my love of dancing game, but no, I didn't get involved in that one. But yeah, anyway, comfort of your own home, you can try something else and play it there. Angry Bear Time, and this one does look very angry. He's probably sort of gone on YouTube and seen the state of what's going on, but there we go. It's Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2011. I managed to get that right this time, because we saw when I got the Wii one, I got it completely wrong. This was £1 from CEX. Should point out that, sorry, did I mention that Star Wars was 99p? I probably didn't, because I'm all over the place this week. Star Wars Connect 99p. This one was £1. Why did I buy it? Because I had £1 left over, and I didn't want to buy a game. I was going to buy something called Too Human, but it didn't really appeal to me, so I just went for something where I can just shoot animals. I tell you something though, I know these games get a lot of stick for what they are, and quite rightly so. But I've got to be honest with you, if you may or may not be able to see that there, that is one cool looking add-on, isn't it? Look at that. You see that there? That light gun there by my finger? Look at that. That's a quality piece of kit, that is. Be very, very quiet, we're hunting wabbits. Right, so 2 360 games to go, and this again from that Cash Converters with the strange crazy prices, and very crazy prices, because I still can't work out why. Other than the box is a bit tatty, but usually they don't sort of sell games that cheaply for tatty boxes. So this is the limited black edition of Grid Autosport, which was picked up for a bear. And as you can see, it's complete on the inside. A bit of a flimsy old box. I'm not sure whether it's the original box or not. The original is limited edition. Black edition is because there's something to do with Mercedes cars. I think, is it Mercedes? Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG Coupe Black Series, and some 20 Black Edition online livery patterns, and basically all the stuff that I'm not interested in at all. But yeah, 99p. I love the Grid series on the PlayStation 3. So interesting to see how that goes. Do like me driving games. Love me driving games actually. Bit of a tatty box, but 99p. I think again that goes. They CXL that between 5 to 8 quid, possibly. This one there probably was the bargain of the weekend. There's some good stuff there, but this is probably the bargain of the weekend. I couldn't quite believe it when I saw it. And this is the Sega Mega Drive collection. Now, or Ultimate Collection, I say. I've got this on the PlayStation 3. I think Mrs. B bought me this. Bought me the PlayStation 3 when it came out, or not long after it came out. Slightly disappointed though, because on the inside it's a classics disc. Cash Converters this was. The one game that I picked up from Cash Converters where the disc wasn't in the box, it was behind the counter, and I didn't get to see it, because if I'd opened that up and gone in there, I'd have automatically gone to the other copy on the shelf and swapped the discs over. And the reason being is because this was 99p. And the other copy they had in there was $9.99. Nothing wrong with it apart from the fact it's an effing classics disc. I can't blame Game for that one, unfortunately. Hi, Scuff. He's got a problem with his manuals and things, but yeah. One of the great things about this compilation is he's got some absolute classics on there, like the Sonic games and the Streets of Rage games, and Echo the Dolphin and Golden Axe and Altered Beast and Kid Chameleon and Vector Man and Shinobi and Columns, and we've now had the upcoming release in the UK anyway of the Sega Mega Drive Mini, which has got good reviews, but a few people picking faults with it because of some emulation issues, which you're going to get anyway. And that's got a fantastic series of that's, you know, this was the sort of stuff that was being churned out on every single Mega Drive. Revisit, reboot, everything came out pretty much the same games all the way. The great thing about the Mega Drive Mini is there's so many games on there that you would never expect it to have seen on it. So that's fine. I mean, I don't mind that. Anyway, I'm digressing. That for 99p I think is a good bargain, even if it's the wrong disc. It's the wrong disc, but can't be helped. Right, so yeah, a lot of stuff there. Now I did buy and pay a bit more than I usually did. That was about 26 quid's worth there, but I think there's 21 games. I think it's not over £1 a game, £1.20 a game, something like that. And like I said, I think there's some good stuff in there. And bear in mind too, those titles did sit about £4.50 each, which is way more than I spend. Almost half my my budget goes in that. And sometimes I don't even spend me 20 quid. I'll spend 15. So that was a good haul this week. Now, like I said, people have been sending me stuff in the post. It's great. I think it's much easier for people to send me stuff than take it to charity shops. I'm not quite sure. I digress. No, firstly, these things have been sent to me through the kindness of people's hearts, which is it's warming to know. 12 months ago, very few people watching anything, no sort of interest in what I was doing. As you know, when we all start YouTube, that's what happens. And now I can safely say that I've got a very good core viewers who come back each week and watch the videos and comment. And there's some people that I know really, really well. And some of these gifts have come from there, which is great. So firstly, I mention him every bloody time. It's like a running joke now, isn't it? Gernaldinho Plays. Hi, Rob. Completely not out of the blue sent me something, and again I remarked on one of his videos when he said that I said, I wouldn't mind playing that, it looks really, really good. And all of a sudden I came home from work on last week, I think it was, not, yeah, it was just after the weekend, I think. Was it before the weekend? I can't remember. I think it was before the weekend, before last Saturday. And there's a parcel for me from him. I didn't know until I opened it up, and inside was this, which is 4-in-1 Race Stars on the 360. And if you've not seen this before, it's sort of like Mario Kart with Formula 1 drivers. So you've got people like Lewis Hamilton, Alonso, Vettel, Hulkenberg, and you can put your own character in there, and it's sort of like mini, sort of like knocked up caricatures of Formula 1 drivers in like little Formula 1 cars, but you get power-ups and things, and you go to all the venues, but you don't race around the proper circuits. You sort of do, you know, start off doing that and then go off into different areas. It's really fun. I've not played it yet. I've watched the video and just see what it's like. So nice and complete on the inside. He also put a lovely note in, which says, "You owe me £6, you tight bust." No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It says, "Surprise, your pal Gurn." I'm joking right there. That I mean, honestly, that was so nice of him to do that. It's also got as well the Valencia Street Circuit Edition, which I think may have also has got a code on it. He may have used that, or somebody else has used that. But I know he bought this himself a few weeks ago, and he just sent it to me out of the kindness of his heart. And I owe him a couple of bits and pieces I've got here, and they will be winging their way into a post very shortly. But what a lovely touch from Gernaldinho. Thank you again, my friend. Really appreciate that. I love me racing games, and that is going to get some honour, as they say. Right, now, somebody else who sent me some interesting pieces this week is Pete Fighter 2, who is currently in the process, if you're watching his channel, of moving properties. And once he settles at his new place, I've got some stuff to send him out as well. But Pete collects things slightly differently. He's a gamer. I think it's probably the fairest way to describe it. He's a gamer in the fact that he doesn't mind having things on display, but he says games are for playing, not displaying. And I completely agree with him. They are like that. But I like to go from the point of saying, yeah, games are for playing, but I like showing them off at the same time as well. Where do they come from? Yeah, they appeared overnight. Yeah, I don't know. I said I'd disappear for 3 hours on Saturday, and then the shelves fill up. Completely unrelated instance. But I can understand. So he doesn't sort of go in for all the collecting boxes and things, and he's got he loved. We said he bought a load of loose discs at Doncaster, and I think in his last video, Gernaldinho sent him some loose discs as well. Other people sent him loose discs, so he likes those. He keeps them in wallets and things, but he's also got other boxes. So he sort of said, "Do you want these?" So I said, "Well, yeah, I'd love them, because it just sort of allows me to sort of raise that game to another level with a collector's edition." So the first one he sent me, which is House of the Dead Overkill, and this is I've got the game. This is the back of the box. You can see that House of the Dead again. If you own a Wii and you don't own House of the Overkill or House of the Dead 2 and 3, or both of those, you seriously need to go and get yourself go. But it also was a collector's edition, because it had the limited edition comic book in it, which was in there as well. And I'll just flick through that. It's all in black and white, and a bit of colour in there as well. So that was in there. And of course, what you'll see from here is that the game box is in, but obviously there's no disc, because Pete owns that. There's no need for the box, so he sent me the box, which is lovely. I've only got the standard edition, so I shall just swap my disc into here, and then I shall use my that box. It's actually good, because I've got a spare Wii box in. But yeah, absolutely lovely. That really nice condition as well. He's looked after that one really, really well. So I'm happy to have that one. Second thing he sent me, which is a game again I already own, and I've already got it in the box, but I was missing a bit out of it, and this is the Conduit on the Wii. Now, this is a special edition box. I'll show you the back. It's even got the 1999 on it at the top. That's the back of the box. Now, I already own this, so you probably won't be able to see it. I think I've just dropped that on the floor. But it's can you see that there? No, you can't. It's off camera. Okay. So there's a copy of it there. Now, again, this is the disc box that came inside, and again, manual and things in there, but there's no disc. But also in this one as well was the comic book, which wasn't in the version I haven't got that one. My version hasn't got it, it's missing that. But there's also 2 copies of the comic book in this one. And it says comic book, it's a special edition player's guide, But it's got artwork inside from the game, and some hints and tips from the designers, makers of the game. So there's 2 of those in there. There we go. There we go. So that's in there as well. So again, this is a much better condition set than mine is, and obviously it's got those books with it. So again, I shall upgrade that. So once again, Pete, thank you very much indeed. I can almost sense that there's somebody banging their head off a table at the moment. I'll get to that in a second. And the final thing he sent me, which was probably I'll tell you something. The generosity of some people just absolutely astounds me sometimes. You honestly think in this world, there's a lot of bad stuff going on. There's a lot of not very nice people and things like that. But yeah, this week I've been sort of touched by a couple of things, and that have sort of made me think, you know what, there are some bad things going on in this world, but there are some good things as well, and this is one of them. This is just someone's pure generosity. Again, what I'm sending back in return pales into significance with what I've received. Those 2 boxes there, and then this, the Alan Wake Limited Collector's Edition. I've read that outright as well, which has got a slip box, which loads of people will be jumping up and down for. It's also got this book. Now, I mean, it's sort of like a velvety type material on it. That's a sort of embossed cover. It's made out like a book. It's not actually a book, because when you open it up, you'll see there it contains some other stuff. But I mean, it's just so beautifully kept. I mean, Peter's really looked after this so well, and he offered it me a few months ago, and then he couldn't find it. I was absolutely gutted, because I'd seen a copy in CEX which was, in all fairness, 10 times tattier than this. No, 100 times tattier than this, honestly. And I was absolutely gutted when he said he got it and he couldn't find it. But obviously, because he's moved and he's moved now, he's found it. This contains the game disc, which he hasn't got because he doesn't keep the boxes. He's kept that for himself. I've got a copy of the game, so that will just slot in here. Also in there is the add-on content, which I noticed, Pete, you scratched off, so I dare say you've used that one then. Also as well in here is the soundtrack, which he's assured me is really good. And also there's a bonus disc, which I'm guessing had all the making of and all sorts. But also as well, there is the book, which is called the Alan Wake Files. And one thing I love about this is it's the care and attention again that's gone into this. It's got a proper dust jacket on it. For those of you who don't know what a book is, dust jackets were invented to keep, protect the covers on them. And it's got some real sort of fake blurb about magazine reviews, and there's also like at the back an author profile as well. The only thing that gives it away, and the fact it's not a proper book, is if you look at the very, very front on the copyright information, it does say 2010 Microsoft Corporation, but it's actually a complete backstory. Complete backstory to the game. I mean, if you saw that in a bookshop, you'd buy it and go, this looks really interesting. Yeah, the Alan Wake Files. So all the stuff is in there. It's all complete. It is all in absolutely beautiful condition. Like I said, I will then put my box, my game disc into here, and I will have the complete set. It's going to give me a headache because it takes up about 4 games on the shelf, game space on the shelf, but I mean, that's pride in place in your collection, isn't it? And like I said, that copy in CEX was rotten compared to this one. Pete, thank you very much indeed. That's I've had a rough couple of weeks. We've had a rough couple of weeks. That's just put a smile on my face. Thank you very much. That's it. And there is just one to go, because today I had a parcel from Sean at Retro Games, whatever he's called, Revived. Oh, where did I get visited from earlier? It's been a long day. It's been a long video, this one. I hope you're still awake. Anyway, Sean put a message in there to say, hi, hope all is good. I thought I'd get you a gift, so I got you the Conduit on the Wii. I hope you haven't got it already, but if you have, then pass it on. I'm sorry, Sean. Yes, I've already got it. It is, but thank you so much for sending it through, because had Pete not beaten and not sent his earlier in the week, this actually would have replaced my copy of it, because it's a much better copy. The box anyway is a much better box than I've got. So and there's a copy of the back of the game. So yeah, unfortunately, Sean, I do have this, but again, the generosity and just thinking of me to send that through is something I didn't ask you to send it to me. It's something you have simply done through the kindness of your heart. And again, I have some things here for you which will be going in the post to you very shortly. I really do appreciate that. So that's great, because that means I have 2 complete copies of this game and 3 sets. And I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Yeah, see, so that's my copy there, and it's not quite as nice because the side of the box is all squashed in. So, well, you can't see it there, but there's like bowing on the box. It's not bad, but it's not as nice as the ones that I've received this week. So it probably will be getting swapped out, and that one will be being donated should anybody want a copy of The Conduit. It's not a bad game, actually. If you've put that back in there we go. Yeah, if you've not played it, it's one of those games I got hyped up to smithereens before it even came out, and could never quite live up to the hype on it. So that, yeah, but it's not a bad game at all. And in fact, I think the sequel's not bad either, but I haven't got that one. So again, Sean, thank you very much for that. And Pete, thank you very much, and Gernaldinho, Rob, thank you very much indeed as well. And thank you for persevering with this incredibly long video. I feel like it's been a marathon. It probably has been. Yeah, but there we go. And you're probably fed up watching it as I'm sitting here watching it flash in the camera, so there we go. All that remains for me to be saying is thank you very much indeed for watching. Your continued support is hugely appreciated. I've made absolutely no mention of it. I'm going to slip it in here to say thank you to everybody who's subscribed over the last 18 months or so. I've just hit 250, which is fantastic. I never dreamed that would happen in the first place, especially not 12 months ago. So thank you very much indeed if you are, and also to everybody who's regularly contributed during that time. Also to everybody who's sort of discovered the channel recently, having quite a lot of you in the last few months. I'm hugely appreciative of all your support and your continued comments and watching, because it just inspires me to go on and keep doing these videos. I know a lot of you enjoy them. You probably fast forward a few fair bits of it as well, but it's always just a delight to put a video up and see that people do watch it and they do respond to it. So thank you very much indeed. My hat is off to each and every one of you. If I had a hat on, it's too warm in here for a hat. I need a drink and a lie down, because that's been a long video. So all it remains to be saying once again, thank you very much indeed for watching. Do take care, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.